Hello everyone and welcome back to another album review, and in this video I'm going to review AAA by Hsxchcxhs. What we have over here is a brand new album of the electronic duo and producers going by this particular name in reverse, and they're mostly known for going into this industrial techno direction, which at times can be a bit experimental, and as usually they always play with some weird and obscure titles, all caps, and all like sort of not making that much of a sense, being quite obscure, and that is still the case with this brand new project over here. However, in terms of sound, this one truly feels like they're going for something different, hence why they changed the name, as it seems. So what we have over here is an album that kind of has these elements of industrial techno in some occasions, but it mostly also goes into some dub and techno elements, and it's also heavily sampled bass. There are lots of different sounds just looping themselves over and over in lots of different portions. Some of them might sound a bit random and kind of weird and messy, but in most of the occasions the structure, especially on the beats, is quite simple. But the album, like I said, doesn't focus that much on having some catchy beats. Most of the times the beats, when there are beats, are kind of experimental, they're a bit glitchy, they have a sort of an IDM feel to them, and also in some occasions they can be slightly distorted, especially with tracks like HEN and UEA. The album itself is really short, it's only 8 tracks, and throughout these 8 tracks it manages to provide some really nice tracks, like the very first track, BUN, whose I love the samples. I think the whole work they've done with this track in particular is quite impressive. I really dig the sound of this track. I like its sounds, I like how it's complemented with these melodies, and I like the beat to it. I like its aggression at some moments. It's kind of a repetitive track. There is a bit of a repetition and the pacing feels quite slow, but when it gets in, it manages to provide enough in order to get captivating, which is also the case with the fourth track, AOO, a track that also has that same feel. It's a kind of slow and repetitive track, but the samples are so tightly combined with those simple melodies and those simple beat behind it. It's quite messy and I like how it goes. So it's a bit unfortunate how the rest of the album doesn't have that much of a great chemistry of sounds, or something that as a whole thing would manage to really impress me or keep my attention. I think there are some quite clever and well done parts in the sound, like with the tracks HEN and UEA, but as whole tracks the pacing might feel a bit off, or the structures could be a bit repetitive, and just in general the songs would not be that memorable, and for a very short album it feels a bit lackluster. I would definitely want more rather than what we got right here, and even with what we got, I would hope that some of the ideas would drag or would progress into something more fulfilling. Because with tracks like EHM, for example, or AAA, they feel so empty, so lackluster. They just go for a short period of time, and those tracks don't feel like offering something that memorable or interesting in the track listing. Other moments like AHE and AOE have some nice beats, have some nice melodies to it, but in general they're a bit repetitive and a bit lackluster. I would love more to the sound of this thing, and even the production in some occasions it feels a bit average. I would like something more richly textured, especially with some of the occasions of those tracks. It mostly comes out to some of the ideas being well complemented together, and that's mostly about it. For what it is, I think this album has a lot to offer. It could be something better, it had the potential for more, but for what it is, I like it. But it's short, it's a bit empty, it's a bit lackluster. There could have been more to it. Better production, some better sampling choices, especially with tracks like HEM. If those samples and those vocal portions wouldn't be as messy, it would be a more compelling track, in my opinion. Other than that, a nice sort of industrial ambient techno album, a really short one, so you can give it a chance if you want something quite short and having a nice atmosphere to it. As far as I'm digging the direction they took with this project, there is the potential for more, in my opinion. I'm going to give this album a 6 plus out of 10. What's your opinion on this album? Like it, dislike it, why, and what do you want me to review next time? Let me know down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.